Hi everybody, welcome back to the SeeSaw and another week of family dinners. So starting the week this week with a chicken coconut curry. This is probably the simplest curry I make, which is ready apart from the Mayflower, and it's ready in kind of half an hour start to finish. So you just want to cook some onion, garlic and ginger, so a chopped onion and then garlic and ginger to suit your tastes. I use grated fresh ginger. Cook that in a little bit of oil for about 5 minutes or so until it's nicely softened and the garlic and ginger are nice and fragrant. Then you want to stir through a couple of squeezes of tomato puree. I never measure tomato puree, it's just one squeeze or two sort of thing. So a couple of squeezes of tomato puree, probably that's about 1.5 tablespoons to 2 tablespoons. Stir that through along with 2 tablespoons of curry powder, again to suit your taste, mild, medium or hot, and a teaspoon of turmeric to give it that lovely orangey colour. And then stir that all together for just a couple of minutes to let the tomato puree and the spices all just coat the onion and the herbs and the garlic and ginger. Then you want to add in a couple of tablespoons of soy sauce. It's a little bit of a hidden ingredient in this one, and a tablespoon of demerara or brown sugar. So you want that kind of sweet and saltiness to go in together. Once that's all combined together, add in a can of chopped tomatoes, a can of coconut milk. You can use either full fat or low fat. Combine that all together, taste it, and if you need to add any salt to it, do so. If you need any more curry powder, any more sugar, soy sauce, whatever you need, just kind of boost the flavour so it's to your taste. And then bring it up to a gentle simmer, and then you want to put in some chopped chicken, just raw chicken. So I used a 500-gram pack of the mini fillets and just chopped them into small pieces, but it's whatever you've got really. You could use thigh fillets, you could use just chopped regular chicken breast. Bring it up to a simmer, pop a lid on your pan and let it cook for about 20 minutes. So you've got little pieces of chicken, they're cooking in the curry sauce, so it's only 20 minutes and that's all it needs to have them fully cooked. And then we're going to serve that with some basmati rice and some poppadoms to start our work week. And it's the last week before half term. So half term starts on Friday this week for Caleb. So being the strangest of strange half terms, but looking forward to a break. Tony's off with Caleb on Friday, and then I'm off next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday with him. Tony's unfortunately got stock take at work on those days, so he wasn't able to get those days off with us. So it'll be a boys' day this Friday, and then Caleb and I will do a few things, and it depends on whether we're back in lockdown, I suppose. But that's our sort of plan, so just need to get through this week really. And to start that, we're going to enjoy our chicken curry. Hi everybody, so it's Tuesday evening and tonight we have got chicken chili. So this is, I took a can of sweet corn, you could also use frozen, a couple of chopped peppers and a chopped jalapeno, and put them on a baking sheet, drizzled them with about a tablespoon of olive oil and put them in a 200-degree oven for 15 minutes just to sort of roast the peppers and the corn a little bit and the jalapeno. Then in my big chili pot, stock pot, crock pot, whatever you want to call that, I've put a little bit more oil, and then I cooked some onion, garlic, and did I put anything else in with that? No, I think it was just onion and garlic. And cooked that together for a couple of minutes just to start to soften it. And then I added a package of button mushrooms, which I just quartered, stirred that all through, and then added a teaspoon each of oregano and kind of a chili blend that I've got. Let me see if I can find it in the cupboard here. We're just giving you a tour of dirty pans, but it's this blend. Aldi also do one. This is the Sainsbury's one, a hot and smoky chipotle. It's like a grinder, and it's got chili flakes and salt and garlic in it, and that adds a nice flavour. So I added about a teaspoon of that. I then added 2 teaspoons each of cumin and chili powder. Gave that all a good stir and let it cook for about 10 minutes altogether on a really low heat just to kind of sweat it down. Then I added a can of chopped tomatoes, a can of the kind of chili beans. So Then these ones are mixed beans in a spicy sauce. I think they're called taco beans, spicy taco beans at Aldi, but you can get them at most grocery stores. So it's not just the ones in water, but the ones in a kind of a spicy sauce. I added those. I added 500 mils of chicken stock and the roasted vegetables from the oven. Stirred that all together, brought it up to a simmer, and then I dropped in a package of chicken mini fillets. So I didn't cut them or cook them previously or anything, just dropped them into the bubbling chili sauce and let the whole thing cook uncovered for about 15 minutes until the chicken was nicely cooked through. So that is it. You could have this with rice. We're not. We had rice with dinner last night, I think. Yeah, we had the curry last night. So I was going to make up some cornbread, but I just didn't. So we've got some tortilla chips with it, got some sliced avocado, we've got some sour cream. I might put a little sprinkle of cheese on this as well. But certainly with the tortilla chips, I won't miss not having a starchy piece of. The only good thing with cornbread or rice is it mops up the sauce a little bit. But this is a really tasty variation on a chili, something a bit different. You could shred up the chicken or chop up the chicken small pieces if you wished, or then shred it once it's cooked through. I've just left it, as we use the mini fillets, I've just left it whole. You could also use pieces of chicken breast, some diced chicken, just whatever you've got really, and just drop it in and let it cook in the sauce. Again, that's what we did with the curry last night. It's a really quick, shortcutty way without having to kind of sear and season things. And it really makes the chicken is quite kind of tender and velvety almost, because it cooks in the sauce from raw rather than being seared where it has a kind of a harder shell. So that is our Tuesday night chicken chili supper. Hi everybody, so it is Thursday evening. Now tonight we've got a bit of an Italian feast. So last night we were due to have this, which is a skillet lasagna, and then tonight we were going to have chorizo pasta. Last night when I got home, the boys were at football practice and the power was out. Then it came on, went off again, on, off again, then it was flickering. So I just wasn't convinced I was going to be able to get dinner made. So Tony picked up some food on his way home. So we had a cheeky midweek takeaway last night. But tonight, because I'd already got everything out for this, and yet Caleb was eating at home tonight and he's not a lasagna fan, so he wanted the other dish. So I just decided to make both, because with pasta it makes a great leftovers for lunches. Tony's at home with Caleb tomorrow as he finished school for half term today. I'm at work, but I'll need something to take for lunch, and then we've got the weekend just ahead of us, so it will definitely all get eaten. We do eat a lot of pasta in this house, but this is a really simple recipe. Now if you look on places like Pinterest or just do a general search for a skillet lasagna, you'll find all kinds of variations. This one is my favourite, and it is you just make up, or you cook up some a package of mince, and then I put some chopped chorizo in with it too. Just cook that all together for about 10 minutes until the mince was browned in just a little bit of oil, because the chorizo starts to release some oil once it starts to cook. Then I added some chopped onion and garlic to that, along with a good tablespoon, I guess, of Italian herbs, a carton of passata, 750 mils of stock. So I used a stock pot and made that up to 500 mils in my jug, and then I added another 250 mils of water. And then I took 10 lasagna noodles and I just broke them into pieces, kind of halves, and some were a little bit smaller pieces. And once the liquid came up to a boil, I dropped the lasagna noodles in. Put a cover on the pan, a lid on the pan, let that bubble away for about 15 minutes. I gave it a stir after halfway through, just to make sure the lasagna noodles weren't sticking together. So then when that was cooked, I did a topping that, I've mentioned this before on the channel, but in the States when they do the white sauce layer in a lasagna, they typically take, rather than making up a cheese sauce like we tend to do here, they take a ricotta, cream cheese, and mix that with an egg and some seasonings and cheese, often Parmesan, and use that as their white layer. So I went with that concept. So I used a tub of mascarpone cheese as just what I happen to have, which, oh, sorry about my finger there. I've really been struggling with finger issues this last few weeks. Not sure why. Never had it before. I must just be holding the phone differently. So yeah, I took a tub of mascarpone, which is slightly sweeter, but because I've got chorizo in here, I was okay with that. I mixed that with an egg, a handful of mozzarella, grated mozzarella, and a good sprinkle of Parmesan cheese and a little bit of ground black pepper. Mixed that all together and just dolloped it over the top of the lasagna noodles once they were fully cooked through. You could try to spread it, although it's quite saucy, so it's quite difficult to spread. But I just put it in some nice big dollops, probably about 7 or 8 dollops around the pan. And then I sprinkled some more grated mozzarella over the top of that and popped it under a hot grill for about 8 minutes, just until it was all bubbly and crispy on the top, like that. Now what I will do in a moment is take a serving out so you can see what that looks like. I'll do that as a separate little clip. But then over here in this pan, we've got, it's quite hard to see this one actually, it's a chorizo pasta. And this is really simple. It's an onion and some garlic, just cooked together. Remove them from the pan, add in another chopped chorizo. So this was one of the kind of rings of chorizo and I just chopped it down. Add that in, let that cook for about 5 minutes until it releases its oil, and then you add back in the onion and garlic. I added oregano to this, but you could add Italian seasoning again if you wanted to. And then what else did I add to this one? About 300 mils of boiling water, a carton of passata, and about 300 grams of pasta. Now I've used rigatoni, you could use penne or fusilli, any of the kind of short tubey pasta is good for this. Again, brought it up to a boil, covered the pan, let it cook for about 15 minutes until the pasta was cooked through. This one you don't have as much liquid in, so you do have to watch it to make sure it doesn't start to stick. Then I took a mozzarella ball, I tore that up and sprinkled it over the top along with a sprinkle of Parmesan, and again I just popped that under the grill to let the cheeses melt together. So a real pasta feast, lots of pasta, lots of cheese, spicy sausage with the chorizo in both dishes. Really looking forward to this, but I will take a serving of the lasagna out of the pan and then just come back and show you that. So there you can see it does look properly like lasagna with the different layers, and there in the pan you can see, if I come around this side, the layers with the sort of cheesy bit just there in the middle there, and then you've got the sauce with the meat in at the bottom, and then the layers of the torn up pieces of lasagna, broken up pieces of lasagna on the top with a nice crispy shell from the mozzarella. So really tasty, looking forward to this, and hope this is one you'll give a try. If your family like lasagna, again this is ready in about half an hour, so it's quick and simple to do on the stove top, one pan, boom boom, done. So if you're a lasagna family that likes lasagna, then definitely give this one a try. Hi everybody, so it's Friday night, and for our Friday night takeaway tonight I've gone with a bit of a kind of nostalgia thing for me. It's a take on a biryani. So when I was growing up, although my mum was a professional cook, my dad was very traditional. We really only had kind of meat and potatoes and vegetables at our house. We only had vegetables that he grew on the garden, and he didn't like any foreign food at all. So we never had pasta, we never had curry or anything like that at home. So when I first started kind of mixing with kind of older children outside of home, so friends, kind of teenage friends, a good friend of mine, they were very adventurous with food. They had all kinds of things. And I went over to theirs one weekend and they said, oh, you can stay for dinner. We're having Indian takeaway. And I just froze. I thought of curry. I thought it was going to be really hot and I wouldn't like it. And at that time, I didn't eat a lot of vegetables. And so it was very, very worrying time. But his mum said to me, try a biryani. It's rice and you can have chicken or lamb. And you can have vegetables in it if you want, and then you get a side dish of vegetable curry. So that's what I tried, and I loved it. I wanted it all the time after that. I had chicken and mushroom, which I did like mushrooms, and then the vegetable curry, I slowly got used to having more and more of the curry on the biryani. So anyway, cutting a long story short, that was why I decided to do this tonight. So all I've done with this to make it really quick and simple is I've put a package of the microwave basmati rice. I've just squished it all up, not cooked it, put it in the bottom of my casserole dish. Then I made up some chicken curry with some chicken, some onions, some curry paste, chopped tomatoes, a bit of yogurt, just a traditional make-up, whatever kind of curry you particularly like. I layered that over the top of the rice, and then I used another package of the rice and put that over the top. So again, don't cook it, just squish it all up in the package so that it comes out easily, and then just sprinkle it across the top. I put a foil lid over it and cooked it in the oven for 20 minutes on about 200, I think it was. And so it's come out with this. It's got the 2 layers of the rice with the chicken curry in the middle, and it does really look like a biryani. So we've got that. We've got some naan breads to go with it. And then the Indian restaurant that I used to eat at in our town used to always serve biryani with sliced boiled egg and sliced tomato. So it didn't matter if you bought it as a takeaway or if you went in to eat it. This was always on the top of the rice portion of the biryani. So just as a complete throwback, I've got both of those to put on the top of mine. So that is our Friday night fakeaway, a chicken biryani. Hi everybody, it's Saturday evening and tonight we've got enchiladas. So this is just, I cooked a whole kind of medium chicken, I roasted it in the oven, pulled off most of the meat from that, combined that with some cheese, some grated cheese, and a little bit of the sauce from a jar of enchilada sauce. Then we use the old El Paso one that we get from Amazon. Used that to fill some tortillas, rolled them, wrapped them, poured the rest of the sauce over the top of the tortillas and sprinkled with a little cheese. And then in Toney and mine, we've also got a little bit of onion and some jalapeno. So that is our enchilada supper for a Saturday night. Hi everybody, so it's Sunday evening and tonight we've gone back to traditional dinner after our fajita dinner last Sunday. So we've got roast chicken, we've got little stuffing, that's just sage and onion stuffing that are mixed up with water and just pop them into little balls into the oven. Some little Yorkshire puddings, steamed vegetables, roast potatoes, and then on mine you can see I've also got some roast parsnips on there. So a traditional dinner to end the week. It's half-term week now. Caleb's got a couple of days with his childminder and then I'm at home with him for 3 days. So a bit of a short week for me work-wise, and I've got work at home tomorrow, so that's that kind of makes up the time. Excuse the noises in the background. Tony's watching NFL games, so he is getting a little bit excited. Anyway, we're off to enjoy this, and thank you for joining us for this week of meals, and we look forward to seeing you back here on the SeeSaw soon.